I will focus on gender as a driver of exposure to infectious diseases at the human-animal ecosystem interface. First, First of all, let me give you some definition to a scientific background of the scenarios which I will present further on. The One Health definition, the recognition of the interdependence among health of human, animals, plants, and ecosystems, the harmonious balance between interaction among those dimensions in the socio-ecological ecosystem, and the more recent One Health approach, which consider the health at the system level and extend the One Health in a socio-ecological system encompassing a multitude of dimensions and discipline such as human and animal health, biodiversity, ecology, climate change, and various social science as well. Lastly, based on differences between sex and gender definition, because sex pertains of the biological characteristics difference between man and woman, and gender pertains of the social sphere in terms of behavior, activities different between man and woman in a given society. The gender analysis investigates the complex dynamics which shape the differences in preferences, needs, and capacity difference between men and women, and is different from data disaggregated collection of the data. But the gender analysis investigates the dynamics that shape those sex differences, the how and the why behind the what. So, on the basis of socio-ecological system, the exposure scenarios was identified in which the sex and gender driver interact with the other driver to increase the risk at the human-animal ecosystem interface. This is considered considered in Mood project, where chikungunya as a model of the vector-borne disease transmitted by invasive mosquitoes, vectors, and leptospirosis as a model of neglected zoonotic pathologies, which caused by Leptospira bacteria, and have a multiple pattern of transmission routes and reservoir. Sorry, go up. On the 160 included papers, only 19 were eligible for gender lens and identify those scenarios. For chikungunya, the analysis of the data extracted identify the key drivers such as human, the risk increased by the old age and male sex, a combination of environmental drivers such as suitable habitat in terms of green area, gardens as a provider of breeding and resting sites, combined with climatic suitability in terms of warm temperature and favorable entomological and ecological condition of the epidemic area, combined with the higher daylight period, and for vector specific drivers were identified the high density combined with the activities of the vectors in both stage of their life cycle, combined with the vector competence in transmission of tick virus. But why those older elderly male were more at risk than others? By the gender analysis of the data structure, B elderly male, it was a proxy factor for risky behavior. And in those communities analyzed by the selected articles, there was higher prevalence of all men that have an habit to stay in green area and garden over the day. Combined with poor use of insect repellent as a protection measure, individual protection measure, and remaining in epidemic area, conversely to the other agents X group that adopt the protective behavior to go outside the epidemic area for work, for other activities. So the output of those analyses, it was the exposure scenarios for chikungunya that involved the elderly male for their attitude towards staying outdoor during the prevalent mosquitoes activity and near the breeding mosquitoes breeding resting sites, combined with the risky behavior such as low adherence to use poor insect repellent. For leptospirosis, more exhaustive work has been done, and One Health gender-sensitive visualization has been developed by the identification of intra- and interspecific relation among drivers involved in the risk of leptospirosis. And then this is the visualization, and as you can see, the intricate intraspecific relation among each One Health domain in black arrow promote the interspecific relation in blue arrow among domains and modulate the exposure to leptospirosis in a bull ecosystem. To do this visualization across a socio-ecological model, main drivers are identified by the quantitative estimate of their importance through the frequency of destruction of given driver by the selected articles. And then from the human sector, an excess of male cases are identified over 30 years old and more inclined to practice water sports as the main gender driver in terms of risky activities, combined with risky behaviors such as uncare their open wounds with protection to allow the acquisition of the infection. By the environment, the seasonal distribution disease has been confirmed with the August in which the case peaks are highest, probably due to of the massive practice of those water sports in this period of the year, combined with the specific range of temperature which ensure the persistence of the pathogen in the environment and lead the contamination of fresh water as a main environmental source of infection, and combined with the extreme meteorological phenomena which lead which force the rodents as a main animal source of infection and may force this to hostile habitat, the movement of from the hostile habitat to the better ones close to the healthy groups, targeted T groups and animal. And so, as you can see, the systemic relation among this driver increase the risk in a full ecosystem of the disease. So we can conclude that the first conclusion is for modelers, for a lot of modelers present in this room, because we need to develop the socio-ecological model in which the sex and gender driver are included with the other driver to make this model more effective in prediction of the risk of the disease. And the major objective of the gender analysis for infectious diseases is to identify those gender-related practices which put women and men in higher or lower risk, and sometimes is better to concentrate the public health efforts to change the gender-related factors is more easier than change the biological factors. And so integrated the gender analysis in One Health Nexus maximize the potential of this approach in prevention and preparedness, and can help to release an effective intervention and target intervention for specific population. In this context, we need of other competencies close to the traditional competencies, such as expert in gender-specific medicine to analyze the interaction between sex and the positive or negative interaction between sex and gender variable to the health, and the sociologist and anthropologist to deeply analyze the communities and identify those gender-related factors, critical, those gender-related factors. I want, before finish, I want to thank Luca Busani and Roberta Masella to support this investigation, in particular Luca, to support this investigation in my project, Maria Bellinghi for the contribution at the beginning of the project in screening of articles, and all more partners for grateful and fruitful collaboration in many activities in 4 years, and I will hope will continue. And thank you for your attention.